All right, guys. Hey, it's Tim Miller. Here is my gift recommendation. If you need a last-second gift for somebody in your life, it's the Tipitina's Record Club. My pals own Tipitina's. It is the coolest, most classic venue in New Orleans. Everybody has played there. It has just an unbelievable history in the venue. It is, if you ever come down to visit, it is absolutely the place to go to see a show. But they have this cool record club that you can get for a music lover or a dad that likes dad music in your life. And you can do a 6-record subscription. They get one every 2 months, so it's a gift that keeps on coming all year long. And it is like these deep cuts from past, New Orleans jazz musicians, things that you might not be able to get at your local record store. The last one was this James Booker record live at Tipitina's in 1978. Very cool. There's Dr. John that you can get. You're going to get the Rebirth Brass Band. It's, jazz, funk, brass, a little bit of rock and roll music. I have gotten this as a gift for several people already. Positive reviews. So if you have somebody in your life that has a record player that likes music, go ahead and get them that Tipitina's Record Club. Go to tipitinasrecordclub.com. You can get it there.
Hey, so we're going into the holiday season. It's cold outside. A lot of guys want to get some exercise indoors. I'm going to show you some gift ideas for the mediocre basketball player in your life. A lot of guys are going in, playing some hoops, and a lot of us are not so good at it. So here are my tips. First, what I'm wearing. This is basically a long sleeve wicking shirt. Keeps you, playing in a cold gym. It'll keep you, from busting some muscles. Also protect you a little bit. This one's called DevOps. You can find these on Amazon or wherever. They're about $10 a piece. This has a couple of advantages. This one's black, so I could wear it underneath a sweater. And when I used to do Thursday night Bulwark, nobody knew it. Then I'd head off to my game. The other thing is, this particular one, they came in the 3-pack, and this one's got the red stripes on it. So when I wear this one, the guys in the game call me Spider-Man. Not a big fan. This basketball, you can get all kinds. This one's the Wilson Evolution. I don't know if it's the best basketball, but I can tell you, if you show up at the game with an Evolution, people like you. They think it's a good basketball. I used to be able to get these for about $50. Now they cost about $80. I once got one at a discount. And it was defective. So I recommend just getting the official Evolution basketball. For those of us who are mediocre, we tend to fall a lot. I recommend knee pads. I wear these. These are Asics. They cost me about $10 each, $20 for the 2-pack. Very useful in the game for protecting you. Also quite useful if you take a job in the Trump administration. And finally, the thing that will endear you most to the guys in the game, electric pump. You can plug it in USB. This one cost me a little over $30. It's the most popular thing. When I go to the game, I'm a terrible shooter, but the way that I get the guys to like me is I bring this pump, and they all need to get the ball pumped. It's always ready to go. You turn it on. It's set to the amount that you need to pump to. And it's got the handy little slot here for what you put in the needle. It goes in the ball. I'm not going to show you, but if you don't know where the needle goes, ask your mom or dad, or maybe your big brother.
So my recommended gift is something I'd recommend if you're shopping for small children. I got a couple toddlers and down. Most of my thinking these days is about like the things that come into my house are for them. The best gift they've gotten by far from anybody in recent years is these magnet tiles. I don't know if you're familiar with these. There's like, it's kind of I think it's a brand, but it's also like a category of like a kind of toy. It's just these kind of plastic tiles with magnets in them that tessellate together and lock together in different ways. It's like kind of a construction toy, a little easier than Legos for slightly younger kids, bigger, chunkier, more kind of colorful and fun. Legos are fun too. But we have been over the moon about these things. We love them. We love playing with the kids with them. They're great because they're a little easier to put together than a lot of these other toys. They kind of snap together well. The other thing is that like if you're a parent of young kids, have young kids in your life, you probably are aware that a lot of times people will give you gifts that are like 50 tiny pieces, and you're like, well, these look cool when they're like all together. 2 weeks from now, 6 of them will be under the couch, 8 of them will be under the fridge. There'll be like a lonely collection of them, that are not all that fun to play with since the rest of them aren't there in the toy box. They've kind of become part of the debris of your life, right? It's just like another thing to be constantly putting in the correct box. The nice thing about the Magna-Tiles is they all snap together very wholesomely, and that's what's really cool for the grown-up is like you throw them back in the box and they all collect down. They snap together. It's a gorgeous thing. So they're fun for the kids. They're pleasant to have in your space for the adults. Go get them for the kids in your life. Magna-Tiles.
I have two recommendations for gifts for folks. The first is a great pair of darn tough socks. You know when you're a kid and you get socks and you're like, oh, socks, boo, I don't want that for a present. When you get old and your feet start to hurt, and you realize that you can do things like spend $15 to $20 on one pair of socks as a gift for someone, you find good ways to spend that. And I am a huge fan of darn tough socks. They're made in America. They're made, I think, up in Vermont somewhere. But they're incredibly comfortable, and they have a lifetime guarantee. Basically, like if you get a hole in these socks, they'll replace them. So it's like, I mean, really, you're saving money by spending that much money on a pair of socks. And you'll need socks because we're about to enter a period of social breakdown, and you're going to want something good and nice and comfortable on your feet to get you through the oncoming chaos. Which is why I also am recommending folks pick up as a Christmas present for themselves or others David Frum's book, How We Got Here, the 70s, the decade that brought you modern life for better or worse. I have a paperback copy. It's very, very good. I have read it twice now, which is unusual. I don't usually read books more than once. It's not necessary. But the long and the short version of this book is that I think folks don't appreciate how crazy things were in the 1970s between political killings, between bombings on campuses, between like actual domestic terrorism and like organized terrorist groups in America committing violence all over the place. Things got very, very weird, particularly in the first part of the 1970s. And I am slightly worried that we're headed back toward that. I think you get a little inkling of it with this United Healthcare murder. It's not just the fact that the murder took place. It's the fact that you had so many people kind of cheering it on and saying, well, it's not great. But, and when you start hearing that sort of thing from politicians as well, things are getting weird and bad. So things are getting weird and bad. Read the book to prepare your brain and buy some socks to prepare your feet, just in case you gotta, hit the road.
Hey guys, one of the things I'm recommending here from the Ohio Bureau in Cincinnati, where we get frequent power outages when snowstorms happen, is the Nebo light bulb. You can get it at Amazon, Walmart for $10. It plugs into one of your typical lamps, so I have it here down in my office. And when the power goes out, the light bulb will stay on if your lamp is on. You can take it out and it has this little handy cover where you can turn it into an actual light bulb that you could put in lamps. You could bring around to go around the basement, check on your deep freezer or something. So it's a very Midwestern suggestion. But for $10 a light bulb, and just know that it's already there and plugged in and charged, it's great. The other one, of course, would be a watch. But it's very accessible and great. Casio, I feel, like I'm in a movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, here with the Casio, is the LF20W. It's a twin graph watch that you can get at Walmart or Amazon or pretty much anywhere, but it's very available for $21. And it's an amazing, fun little gift. Adults would like it if they like watches. You don't have to spend a ton of money on it, but kids would like it too, and I love it. It's a great watch, $20. So those are my recommendations, and hope you guys have a happy holiday.
My gift that I would recommend or that I would want to receive would be fancy tinned mussels. So these are from Spain and you can get them online pretty much anywhere. They're different though than your regular chicken of the sea. It's not just like canned tuna in water. These are fried mussels. They've already been fried and they're steeped in marinade, and then they can them and they have a really long shelf life. So if you get them as a gift and the person says, oh, thank you, and forgets about them, they might find them in a year and they'll still be good. You can put these on bread or on toast points. You can chop them up with other things like olives and make like a spread. They're really perfect. They're not too expensive depending on which ones you get. And I love them. And you can get not just mussels, but like anything else. Highly recommend a fancy tinned fish.
My favorite present to get and my favorite present to give is a candle. And you can spend so much money on luxurious candles, but you can also get one for $15 or $20. Candles, we know from the time we're little, are a part of celebrations. They're on our birthday cakes. When we go to parties, they're all over the houses or the places that we celebrate at. They are part of our festivities, and they are also a part of our emotional and spiritual life. We light candles at church when we pray for a sick loved one or a lost loved one, or we do that sometimes at home. And so I think it's a wonderful present because you can't really go wrong. If people are not candle lovers, they don't love the smell of the one you give them, they can re-gift them painlessly. And I think that it's the most versatile but a thoughtful present, better than popcorn. I like a lot of candle companies in the U.S. I love the Nouvelle Candle Company. They're out of Louisiana. I just discovered a British line that I love called Home County Candles. And my favorite Christmas candles, and you don't have to celebrate Christmas to love Christmas candles, are from Voluspa and Illume and the Time Company, and Nest makes wonderful holiday candles as well.
This year for Christmas, you should give somebody you love the book Ringmaster, Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. It's by Abraham Josephine Reisman, and it's a book about professional wrestling that's not really about professional wrestling. It's really about Donald Trump, and it's really about America. And this is one of those books where once you read it, you understand everything in the world around us a lot better. We're living in the world that professional wrestling made. We have a professional wrestling president. He is literally in the WWF Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, sorry. And everything that Donald Trump knows about being a demagogue and manipulating the masses, he actually learned it from Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon is one of these guys where he is Trump. They're the same person. And I think that it's pretty clear from this book that had Vince McMahon decided that he had wanted to be president, then he would have been president and not Trump. It's just that Vince is obsessed with the wrestling business and never wanted to do anything else but wrestling. And again, this is a biography of Vince McMahon. You cannot read it apart from our current political context. And it is a sensational piece of reporting, a sensational piece of writing. It's absolutely gripping. And it's the kind of thing that if you're a normie, if you're not into professional wrestling, you need to learn about this stuff, because that's how you're going to learn how voters now respond to politicians. You're going to learn about what kayfabe is. You're going to learn about how people, the difference between literally and seriously, all that, taking people literally and seriously, that's a wrestling thing. And all of it in this amazing book is what you need to have rattling around inside your brain. And it's also a great read. It's fun. You're going to enjoy reading it. It's not spinach. It doesn't taste like homework.
So if you're like me and a bad sleeper, two of the greatest gifts that I've received in recent years both have to do with getting a good night's sleep. So the first one is my husband found online these weighted blankets that are for people with like autistic spectrum disorder. They like the feeling of being under weighted blankets. But even though I don't have autistic spectrum disorder, I also love it and it helps me sleep. And the other gift also has to do with sleep, and that is I'm always freezing. And so one of my sons one year got me an electric blanket. And I had been using like a little heating pad to put on my feet in the wintertime, and that doesn't do it. You need the whole body heated blanket to really feel warm. So the combination of a heated blanket and a heavy blanket means that I curl up in my little cocoon and I feel really cozy, and I can sleep even in the era of Trump.
Something that I'm sort of enthusiastic about that I think will make for a great gift is a product I helped to kickstart to crowdfund a few years ago, and it is called the Playdate. This is a unique, it's a handheld gaming platform that was designed from the ground up. It's all proprietary hardware. And they've brought in designers who have created a whole catalog of very small games that you can play on this device, which the unique thing about it, the reason this isn't just a Game Boy, is it actually has a little crank on the side that comes out, and you use this in the course of several of the games on the application. It's a great little platform. It's like $200, and you can also add on this magnetic cover. It's just a very appealing little package. And if you know someone who commutes to work, this is like an ideal gift for them, I think. Also, this is not a device that can do everything. It's actually, in some ways quite limited. And it's nice to have, as a friend put it, single-use technologies to sort of maintain a protective hedge around your attention. You're not going to get lost in this in the way that you do your phone, which makes it perfect for just taking nice little breaks from work or from other parts of your life.
Okay, so this year, my theme for gift giving is to give people not physical presents, but experiences. And so, sometimes you got to think about like what's really meaningful. And what do you actually, do you need another, Kindle, maybe? But giving somebody an experience like, don't tell them this, but there are people in my life to whom I am giving, spa days or massages. In one instance, I'm taking somebody to see a bunch of people in their extended family and go to a baseball game together. As you think about gifts, just don't forget. Actually, what you should give people first is you should give them the gift of the Bulwark and have them become Bulwark Plus subscribers. But after that, because that's also an experience, it's a great experience. But also just don't forget that really what people in your life want is they want to spend more time with you. So give them gifts that allow them to do that.
What's the gift you give someone who has everything? That someone wouldn't be me. I don't have everything. But I'm a big fan of Huckberry clothing and lifestyle site, I guess. So get a gift certificate to that site. That's a good one. They got cool stuff. Like you can buy nice pants and then you can buy an axe. Not that I'm getting axes, but if you wanted an axe or a thermos or like fun boots or a comfortable shirt or something like that, it's got it all. For kids, look, I've been, getting my kids a bunch of Star Wars stuff. So there's some pretty cool lightsabers if you have kids and, they can mess around and hit each other on the head with that. My wife wouldn't approve of that. But mainly, honestly, it's probably a subscription to the Bulwark. Goes with every holiday gift. Subscribe to the Bulwark. Pass it on.